Welcome to Fordham Student TV News. I'm Haley Messenger.
And I'm Vicky Kalpaxis. Let's get to this week's top stories.
We begin today with some heart-wrenching news. Last Saturday, a gunman opened fire at a synagogue in Pittsburgh. Before surrendering to police, suspect Robert Bowers brought 4 guns into the Tree of Life synagogue, killing 11 people and wounding 6.
According to ABC News, Bowers made his first federal court appearance on Monday. They say he faces 29 federal counts, including hate crimes and calls for the death penalty. Thousands of people gathered in cities across the country to hold vigils and honor the 11 people who lost their lives.
Authorities arrested Florida resident Cesar Sayak Jr. after he was charged with sending more than a dozen pipe bombs to various members of the Democratic Party, some of whom included Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden. Sayak was also charged with sending packages to CNN's New York bureau, the first of which was removed by the New York City Police Department on October 24th. The NYPD ordered the evacuation of the Time Warner Center, causing many parts of the Columbus Circle area to be shut down.
As of last Monday, a third package addressed to the news network was found at their Atlanta office. There were no reported injuries across all instances. President Trump reacted to these events at the 2018 Young Black Leadership Summit.
These terrorizing acts are despicable and have no place in our country. No place. I've instructed authorities to spare no resource or expense in finding those responsible and bringing them to swift and certain justice.
According to NBC News, Sayak was charged with 5 federal counts: interstate transport of explosives, mailing of explosives, threats against former presidents, making threatening interstate communications, and assault of current or former officials. He could face almost 50 years in prison if found guilty.
We are less than a few days away from the midterm elections. All 435 House seats and 35 out of the 100 Senate seats are up for grabs. Republicans have held the majority of Congress since the 2014 midterms. The Democrats are looking to regain control and will need 218 House seats and 2 Senate seats to do so.
Last Thursday, the college Republicans and Democrats had their semesterly debate in Flom Auditorium. I went to the event to learn more. On Thursday, October 25th, the college Republicans and Democrats held their semesterly debate in Flom Auditorium. A debater from each side took to the podium to argue their views on a variety of 4 topics: social media and hate speech, felons' voting rights, Supreme Court term limits, and NATO membership requirements.
Russia and the increasing scope of the mission of NATO, the commitments of this transatlantic alliance have expanded. It is the United States, however, that has always largely footed the bill.
College Democrats President Sophia McMaster talks about what the 2 sides coming together means to her.
Our goal was for it to be civil and for it to actually be a constructive conversation, and that, the idea of us coming together is so that we can have so we show that we have some grounds that we can talk on and hopefully agree on, or even if we disagree, we can learn from each other, and it means a lot to me that we can have that discussion on campus.
Debaters even opened up the conversation to audience members.
To what extent do you think social media platforms should play a role in the idea of being a leg and arm of the Fourth Estate?
College Republicans President Michael Milik shares his thoughts on the event's outcome.
I wasn't expecting such a great turnout, but Fordham Political Review did a great job advertising, and just to show so many people really invested in politics on this campus is good in an age where a lot of people are put off by politics.
For FSTV News in the Bronx, I'm Vicky Kalpaxis.
According to a statement sent out by Father McShane last week, a student found a swastika etched into their desk in their daily classroom. Public Safety removed the desk and notified NYPD. In addition to this, a racial slur was found on the underside of a table here on the Rose Hill campus. Father McShane wrote in another email that both bias incidents are being investigated by Public Safety and the NYPD.
Now let's turn it over to Riya with Billions and Bytes.
Hello, Fordham. Welcome back to Billions and Bytes, your insider information on everything concerning the business and technology realms. Feeling lucky? Mega Millions jackpot just hit $1.6 billion, but it's a lot harder to win. ABC News recently released a study that shared the most commonly picked numbers. Each ball has an equal chance of being chosen. However, the numbers most commonly chosen are 1, 2, 28, 70, 14, 17, and 42. Those are the numbers that were chosen the most up to date. Facebook shares have plummeted 11% since their last cyber attack in late September. Early investor Roger McNamee told CNBC that the social media giant needs to start finding a solution by changing the business model, not just the corporate shares. According to CNBC, a teen usage of Facebook went down a whopping 52% over the last 2 years. The company has turned to Instagram to capture the younger generation's attention. Instagram just surpassed Snapchat in teenage popularity. To all the Fortnite lovers out there, Hasbro has released a Fortnite-themed Monopoly game. The new board game is Hasbro's leading source of revenue in the fourth quarter. CEO Brian Goldner says the toy company has big plans for online gaming and sports. Your walk to FMH just got a whole lot easier. Google's Larry Page backed Opener's first flying craft called Blackfly. These crafts are single passenger and its sole purpose is to reduce on-ground traffic. Opener claims that you don't need a pilot's license to fly this craft. Watch out, Ram Van. That's all for today, folks. Thank you for watching. I'm Riya Goel on Billions and Bytes.
Fordham students gave a green thumbs up during Sustainability Week last month. Each day was dedicated to a different event that promoted sustainability on campus. The week began with a bamboo toothbrush and metal straw sale and ended with a DIY self-care product workshop and Fordham's very own Fordham Flea.
Last Friday, Fordham Flea created quite the buzz at their annual clothing flea market. This event had racks of pre-loved clothing ranging from hockey jerseys to formal dresses. Fordham Flea's goal is to promote sustainable fashion, reduce waste, and spread awareness about the harmful effects manufacturing and shopping has on the environment.
When you shop secondhand, you are actively combating the pollution of the fashion industry by, removing yourself from that retail store waste.
It's on Us and USG's Committee on Sexual Misconduct held their semi-annual clothesline project along McGinley Walkway last week. The event was part of the larger week of action dedicated to raising awareness for sexual assault on college campuses.
Attendees were able to write a personal message or story on a white t-shirt and hang it in solidarity with sexual assault survivors and advocates. It's on Us campus organizer and Fordham senior Danielle Gallagher shares what the event means to her.
I love it. It's like my favorite project every year just because it gets so many people involved. And also this year we're leaving these shirts up all week. So every day you can pass it and just see all these messages of support and love for people. And it just gives me goosebumps because it makes me so happy that so many people care.
The Committee on Sexual Misconduct also hosted the Talk with Father Lito and decandy and consent tabling in McGinley lobby.
Reporter Angelina Zervos is introducing a new segment for FSTV News, the Senator Series. This week, she interviewed the 2019 representatives. Angelina?
Thanks, Haley. I'm Angelina Zervos, and welcome to the first installment of the Senator Series, where I'm with the class of 2019 representatives from United Student Government. I'm here with Brian Dahlman, Ryan DeCorpo, Danielle Teresiano, Dom Pietromonaco, and Dean Corrado. So before we get started, tell me a little bit about yourselves.
Let's get started. My name is Brian. I am a senior here at Fordham College of Rose Hill, majoring in political science and minoring in humanitarian studies. Throughout my 4 years, I have served on USG in a number of ranges, from the Dean's Council, Fordham College, as well as the Diversity Action Coalition, as well as being on the Senate. And on United Student Government, I served as the President Pro Temp, which is the head of the Senate. In addition to, I've also served as a leader during the Urban Plunge program and done different service activities throughout the province.
My name is Ryan DeCorpo. I'm a film major and a journalism minor. I'm originally from Mansfield, Massachusetts. On USG, I serve on the Dean's Council, which I have served on for 2 years now. I am also culture editor for the Fordham Ram, and I'm involved in the Fordham Pep Band and campus ministry and a variety of other organizations.
Hi, I'm Danielle. I'm Fordham College Rose Hill political science major, and on USG I'm part of the Dean's Council, and I'm actually a transfer student, so I'm leading the transfer advising committee on Dean's Council.
I'm Dom again, and I'm a senior in the Gabby School. I'm an accounting and information systems major and concentrating in social innovation. At Fordham, like Brian, I've been in USG in some sort of capacity for all 4 years, being on the Dean's Council, acting as the chair of the Dean's Council and vice president of Gabby School, as well as doing a lot of things with Model UN, starting a conference for high school students, and working a lot in Gabby and USG.
My name is Dean Corrado. I'm a senior. I'm a major in public accounting in the Gabby School as well. It's my first year on USG. I've never served in student government before. I'm part of the Committee on Sexual Misconduct, and I am also on the committee, the newfound commission for the revision of the Constitution, which we had our first meeting yesterday, and it's a new commission. I'm looking forward to being on it.
Awesome. So I know you guys each touched upon different things that you guys do. So you all are representatives for the senior class. What exactly does that mean?
I can answer that. So I think between being on the Dean's Council and acting as a representative in USG, we incorporate what our peers and colleagues and other students tell us and bring that back, whether it's in USG or in Dean's Council in some sort of capacity, to act as a middleman essentially, or representative from the students and to the administration and the deans in the case of Dean's Council, to try to get communication between the two and try to seek initiatives that will both make the students happy and continue improving administration in the school itself.
Great. So some of you have been a part of United Student Government for 4 years, some it's your first. What made you decide to join?
I think one of the biggest impetuses for me freshman year was we had a hate crime occur within the Martyrs Court, one of the Martyrs Court dorms, and the racial slur was literally etched into a freshman football player's dorm. And so I was kind of like outraged and didn't really know what to do after that and stuff, and there was a lot of push for Fordham to really address racism and privilege and intolerance on campus. So that's kind of what got me started. I joined the Dean's Council initially and then expanded into the Diversity Action Coalition. Then also started a conversation too on Fordham's relationship with the Bronx as well, given that we are a predominantly white university in an area that's predominantly Black and Latino. So that's kind of how I got my start and got my involvement in a lot of the initiatives that I do as well. So.
I actually believe I had misspoke. This is my third year on the Dean's Council. I've been part of it for several years before joining USG, and I've been kind of asked by a couple of people to consider running for USG, especially because what Dean's Council does, as Don was talking about, is it acts as a bridge between the students and the administration for both Rose Hill and in terms of the Dean's Council for DeBelly. And I just wanted to kind of assume a larger role in terms of being on USG and seeing what else I could do in that capacity while continuing to work on Dean's Council.
I joined USG because I was never a part of student government, even in high school, and I felt that when I came here, Fordham embraced me in a way that, really stood out still in my mind of how, nice people were here. And so my junior year I was thinking about a way that I could be able to give back by representing the people that sort of welcomed me into the community. And a lot of people brought up the idea of running for USG. It was something that was very foreign to me. But I did it as a way to sort of tip my cap to those people that took care of me when I was a freshman that was new to this campus and didn't know anyone here. And so I joined so that I could represent, my classmates, my, roommates, friends, constituents, in a way that was, where I could make an impact. So.
For me, I had a similar experience as Dean. This is my first year on USG, and as a transfer student, it was hard to assimilate into Fordham's culture and community. But the student population just welcomed me with open arms, and I never really felt different than anyone who started here as a freshman. So I too wanted to give back to the community and just take on a leadership role and do my part to make Fordham the best it can be.
I think most of my other senators summed it up well, just being part of a great family and wanting to represent them and feeling some sort of duty to that. I want to be a part of the change and the improvement at the university. Although it's a great place, there's always things that can get better. Students always have new ideas, and helping bring those to light and bring them to life on campus is something I would just have been always passionate about doing.
So you're all very committed to serving your peers, your community. What's the biggest issue that you faced since you've been on USG?
The biggest issue for me was we had a point of contention in USG early in the year about something which is called a secret ballot. So the way it works is if an issue is particularly contentious, the USG can decide that they want to vote by secret ballot, which means you write down your vote and then they tally it and then they read the results out loud. So usually we vote in public, hand up, hand down, whatever it is. And it was an issue that I noticed in April when I went to be sworn in as a USG senator, and it was something that sort of stuck with me over the summer, and I felt that in order to have a government that is representative of the people, we need to be able to represent in front of the people and be able to talk about why we took positions on certain issues. And so I brought it up, and in one of the first meetings, and worked with a bunch of other senators and members of the e-board and people that are right here were fantastic help, and we essentially made it against the rules to vote by secret ballot. And so now we're everything that we do, we're going to do in public, and we're going to be transparent about. And I was really, more than anything, really, really impressed by all the people on USG that were willing, even people that disagree with me, to be able to work with me on the issue. And we put our heads together, and I think we came out with the best result for the students here. So.
This is also a point of contention, but something that I've been working on. I am the Career Services Subcommittee Head for the Dean's Council, which means that I try to make career opportunities extant in Fordham College at Rose Hill more easily accessible and more specific to the individual needs of students in the college. In Gabby School of Business, the Career Services module program is more integrated into the curriculum. They're constantly interviewing with people, and they have a first-year course which deals with interview skills and building LinkedIn profiles and all of this, and that doesn't quite exist in Fordham College Rose Hill. So we've tried to make it so that somebody who has a major that isn't obviously aimed towards one career or another. If you're a philosophy major, you might think, well, I have to be either a priest or a professor, and that's not true, because there are a lot of lawyers start out as philosophy professors. There are disciplines in the medical field that would also want philosophy majors. So it's looking at how can I use my major, which is more liberal arts based, to find a career, but also how can those career services be integrated better into the curriculum at Fordham College Rose Hill, so that the students in Gabelli and Rose Hill both have the same opportunities to learn how best to interview and how best to find those career opportunities.
I think one of the biggest challenges that I face, at least within my own initiatives as well as university-wide initiatives, specifically around how to make Fordham a more diverse and tolerant place for everyone, as well as how to engage better with the Bronx community, is how to actually go about doing that, because it's great on paper and it's great idealistically and stuff, but it's like, how do we actually get students to better engage, to be more tolerant, to like actually be more of a diverse community? And I think one of the best ways that I've seen it is implementing it with academics. Currently right now there's a task force to create a 1-credit mandatory class for all freshmen, centered around engaging with these tough conversations on race and systems of oppression and things like that, as well as engaging with the Bronx and learning about its rich history, as well as the times when they've experienced racism and oppression as well. But I think one of the biggest challenges to that as well, like any big underhaul with the university, is cost, is staffing, is figuring out like the logistics behind it all to make it happen. So I think just the logistics behind any big undertaking like that has been one of the biggest challenges that I've faced.
I think for Brian and I, a lot of doing things on campus. So we all come from high school and being teenagers and just thinking of ideas, but not actually doing it and dealing with real money and other adults and all of these rules that we have to go through to get things actually done. So coming into that, it's a little bit of a change that you have to really adjust to before you can start getting actual things done.
What are some of the main issues that you plan on addressing this year?
So a couple of us are actually pre-law, and we're going to law school. I know Dean and I have both submitted our applications, and Danielle and Brian thinking about it and going to take
kind of the opposite out here.
We don't want to talk about that.
In a lot of Gabelli has an advising program. There are advisors at Fordham College and Rose Hill, and there are niche areas where we feel like we can get better information out to the people who want to do these things, and one is pre-law, and that's something that a couple of us are passionate about. So being able to, because we weren't able to get this information and we had to seek it ourselves, being able to get it out in an organized way, just like some other functions of the school do, and be able to get it to sophomores, freshmen, even juniors who want to pursue a career in law or even just thinking about it, to help them understand and make that decision.
I think also too, one initiative that I'm working on with AVP Matos in the OMA office is reforming the civility training, specifically during the core programming time with freshmen and everything. There's the civility training program. However, when I went through it as a freshman and everything, I kind of noticed that it was how to be respectful of fellow Fordham students, but it never really addressed how to be a good neighbor and a good community member to the surrounding Bronx community. And that was something that always kind of bothered me, because going through my 4 years, I noticed that there was that disconnect and kind of a tension between Fordham students and fellow members of the Bronx, whether it was on weekends or just weeknights. There was kind of a lack of respect thereof. And so I'm kind of working this year, hopefully, to revamp it, to focus a little bit more on what does it mean to be a Fordham student outside the gates as well, or like how to also be inclusive, or how to consider members of our fellow community in the Bronx or in the Belmont area as well as Fordham Heights as members of the Fordham community as well.
So we talked about some issues that you'd like to address this year, but ultimately, what are some of your long-term goals for them this year?
So one long-term goal that I have is setting up a transfer mentoring program for FCRH and also an assessment program. So what that will look like is having a former transfer student who's now matriculated into Fordham's curriculum and the culture come to freshman advising sessions, transfer advising sessions, and speak to the students and be a resource for them in case they don't want to ask the transfer dean, who's Dean Lennis, something, and maybe wants a student perspective, they can go to that transfer mentor. And then also having an assessment program, and we're hoping to roll that out by the end of the spring semester and kind of analyze if transfers are happy and if current students are also happy, because we all love Fordham and we can go on and talk about all of the great things and opportunities that Fordham has, but we want to make sure that Fordham's keeping its students happy and that they're not transferring to other schools as well.
So, how do you feel about this being your final year at Fordham and being a part of USG?
I like to say with my friends, I like to say we don't use the G word, we don't say graduation, because then it all sort of converges in. You know, I'm looking forward to the next step because of the opportunities that I've had at Fordham, and I feel like, wow, I'm really gonna miss it, and time does fly by. When I was a freshman, people told me, oh, it'll fly by. I'm like, yeah, I'll talk to you in 4 years. It takes a while, but it really does fly by, and you know, just walking around campus and, you know, seeing people you recognize, classmates, you know, friends, professors, you know, is definitely something that I'm going to miss, especially if you know, move on to a city and you walk by and, you know, in New York, people are not as friendly as they are here at Fordham in Manhattan. So, you know, but it's a mix of both. It's a mix of both. So.
I'm just thankful that I was elected to be able to serve on USG for this year and, you know, hopefully enact some change, whatever small way, in my last year.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Tune into the next episode where I'll be interviewing the junior senators. Back to you, Haley.
Thank you, Angelina. On Tuesday, October 30th, Fordham Dance Marathon held its annual trick-or-treat trot. Students showed up in their Halloween costumes, ready to run a 5K. All proceeds from the trot were donated to the Andrew McDonough Be Positive Foundation.
We are here for Fordham Dance Marathon, the Andrew McDonough Be Positive Foundation, and for the kids that are fighting pediatric cancer.
This is the first year that I'm actually doing FDM, but I've heard about it and it's always a really big deal. I think it's awesome because it gets all these college kids to come together and hang out with the younger kids that we're helping out. So it's awesome because it benefits the Be Positive Foundation.
I really like FDM because we're very privileged at Fordham, and working with the Be Positive Foundation, we get to partner with them and help the Bronx community.
I was not expecting us to have this many people at our first trick-or-treat trot. We are absolutely loving it. I like seeing the kids around and everyone's helping out. Our station is slime, then there's also donuts, there's food, and everyone's here, so it's really good to see a lot of people coming.
We do an annual 5K, but this year we actually started a fun run around Eddie's.
I just finished running. It was a lot, but we made it and it was really fun.
Trick-or-treat trot's really important because it's an opportunity for kids to be able to have a similar experience that they would have going out on Halloween and getting candy that they might not otherwise have. Our confirmed date for the Fordham Dance Marathon is March 8th, which is a big deal.
And the concert is going to be awesome.
I know what you're thinking when the bass starts ringing. Can you tell me when you're stoked to start? Are you ready for tonight? Setting it on fire and we'll dance until we're dumb in the dark. My lady, I know what you're thinking.
We do events like this so kids can just be kids.
We're introducing another new segment where we profile Fordham students with hidden talents and special experiences to share. Producer Morgan Outler and I sat down with senior Victoria Pitts to hear her story.
I'm a music major at Fordham University. I play piano, I sing, I play guitar, I play clarinet, I compose music. I'm actually in the evening division composition at Juilliard. So I first started playing music when I got a keyboard for Christmas when I was in first grade. And I taught myself how to play on that, and then I started playing clarinet, and I just started accumulating instruments and realized that that was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. When people ask me about music, the first thing I usually want to talk about is my love for composition, which has been pretty new. I had a composition featured at Fordham last semester, and then I'm taking the composition course at Juilliard. My biggest inspiration for music has been Lady Gaga for so long, and I am so proud and happy that A Star Is Born has come out, because I feel like it's her music and her artistry fully realized. It has inspired me this month more than ever that all the art I create could accumulate towards something so much bigger and so impactful. Once I graduate Fordham, I'm hoping to go into arts administration, so the business side of music. I would love to work at Lincoln Center or Carnegie Hall, organizing cultural events, and eventually I'd like to have my own nonprofit, whether that's in the city or somewhere else. Hopefully music therapy focused, because that's always been something that I really care about. It took me so long to be able to play something in front of someone in my apartment, or sing and record myself, or send it to somebody, or sing in a group. And I'm not always the best, but putting yourself out there and making an effort to share inspires other people to do the same. And I don't think you have to be an amazing player or the best composer or the best singer, because I'm none of those. I just like to do it, and that makes other people go for it.
If you or anyone you know is interested in sharing your own story, make sure to email us at fordhamstudenttv@gmail.com.
And now let's turn it over to Gabby Vozzi, who's reporting on a big week in sports.
Welcome to sports. I'm Gabby Vozzi. The Boston Red Sox won the 2018 World Series after defeating the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 5 this past Sunday. On Saturday, October 27th, Fordham football lost to Lafayette to fall to a record of 1 win and 7 losses. Fordham's men's soccer defeated the LaSalle Explorers on Saturday, October 27th, and now hold a record of 8 wins, 3 ties, and 4 losses. The women's soccer team faced off against St. Joseph's University in the Atlantic 10 Conference Championship on Saturday, October 27th. St. Joseph's defeated the Fordham Rams with a score of 0-2. Last weekend, women's club soccer won regionals and are now advancing to nationals. The New York Giants currently hold a record of 1 win and 7 losses, most recently losing to the Washington Redskins on Sunday, October 28th with a score of 20-13. The New York Jets are currently ranked 3rd in the AFC East and hold a 3-5 record after losing to the Chicago Bears on Sunday. With sports, I'm Gabby Vozzi.
That's all we have for you today. For FSTV News, I'm Vicky Kalpaxis.
And I'm Haley Messenger. Thanks for watching.